Hello everyone, welcome to Marlin Chess Kids. Today I will show you the game played by Hrvoje and Pirc. And the game starts with pawn to d4, knight f6, bishop f4, d6, knight c3, g6, e4, bishop to g7, queen to d2, and the black castling. And here we have the first 5 move, and the opening is a Pirc defense, a Miscellaneous systems. And now the white will prepare for a long castling and prepare to attack at the king side. So the game continue. The white long castling, then c6, and now the bishop to h6, preparing to exchange. And then the black continue to play knight b to d7, and after this h4 was played. And here we have the idea of go to h5 and capture the pawn. And after capture the pawn, the black will have one of the pawn being removed to protect the king. So after this, h4 was played, and the black continue to play queen to a5 with the idea that the queen can protect the pawn going up. But after this, now the white play h5, and one is a great move, because if you capture with the pawn, then the white can play e5, attacking the knight, and also the bishop can capture the bishop. And if the pawn that in front of the king is away, is very risky for the black side, as is being exposed for threat. So after this, the white can play e5, attacking the knight. And if the bishop capture the bishop, then the queen will capture back. And after this, the pawn capture back, then the pawn can capture back the pawn. And now if the knight capture, then you can just check the king and attack the knight. And after this, king to h8, then you can just play a knight to f3 and attack the knight. And with this double attack, you win a piece back. So knight to f3, and you'll be winning the knight. And the structure of the king will be very dangerous. If you use the knight to capture h5, okay, after this, if you go for a knight capture h5, for example, then the white can play a g4 and attack the knight. So after this, knight to F6, then you can just use the bishop to capture the bishop, and after king capture, then queen to H6 and check the king, and now the king to H8, then a G5 will attack the knight. So if the knight to move away from the attack, then the queen will just capture and checkmate. If the knight move to H5, then you can just use a bishop and keep on attacking the knight. And here we will be winning a pawn, and a queen will capture this one and go for the checkmate. So for example, if the move any of the pawn, then you can just capture the knight, then after the pawn capture back, then the rook will capture back, and here preparing for checkmate and can win easily. So after H5, the black play E5, then the bishop capture the bishop, and the king capture the bishop, then H takes G6 and preparing for the rook to attack the H file square, and so the queen can come to H6 and check the king. So H takes G6, and now the pawn capture back, F takes G6, then the white continue to keep on the attack and play queen to H6 and check the king. And now the king has a very determined place. In the actual game, the black play king to G8 to protect the pawn, but after this, the white is clearly winning because white has many activity and able to check the king. So the first attack, the white play bishop to C4 and check the king, and this the pawn block the check D5, and after this the pawn at E takes D5, then you have a C takes D5, and after this the knight capture again the pawn, knight takes D5. After this, if you capture with the knight, then the queen will just capture the pawn and check. So after this, the rook, the black play rook to F7 to protect the H7 pawn. And after this move, the white is winning and mate in 5. I give you a couple of seconds to figure out and how the white can play and win the game. Well, congratulations for those who found the answer and have the idea to checkmate. And for the rest, for those who like to enjoy the show, here are the moves. In the actual game, the white play knight attack by moving the knight to E7 and will be winning and check the king. So in the actual game, the white capture the pawn first. A pawn takes E5, and here the knight move to G4 and attack the queen. However, after this move, the white win with the knight check, knight to e7 and check the king, and the queen is control all the square for the king to move. So the only place the king can play is move the king to h8. After this, the knight capture back the pawn and check, and after this the king back to g8, and after this the queen capture the pawn and checkmate, and the king cannot capture because the bishop is pinning the king. And with this, thank you.